All right, we are here for second match for week 4 here. We have Michael M, who I'm watching from his point of view, taking on Caleb, and Dan's going to be looking at his hand. So, normally when we have somebody in the feature match 2 weeks in a row, we could say, we know about their deck, but we know nothing about Caleb's deck because he played that stipulation last week.
That's
So,
right.
I think I saw he was running a Boros deck though the last time I saw. Definitely
Uh,
red is where his power lies. What's he got there?
Looks like we got Selesnya.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got a really strong turn two in Yotian Dissident, or he can choose between the Ambush Paratrooper. No artifacts to follow it up until turn four with Iron Claw Crusher, but he does also have the Chaplain and a Prison Sentence.
Okay, so he's moved into green, I guess. I know he was running red. He had Draconic Destiny and that big dragon, uh, the 6-drop dragon. But looks
Oh,
like maybe he went a little more low to the ground here with a Yoshin Dissident white green artifact deck. Um, so Michael's on what seems to be like a deck that a lot of people have landed on, and red black
that's
archetype
right.
here. Seen it quite a bit on streams and a couple times in the feature matches, namely earlier tonight. So yeah, so he's got a Mishra's Bauble here. Uh, he's got another Mishra's Bauble in his hand, a Goring Warplow, and two Scrapwork Ragers.
Dang. I mean, yeah, that's a very strong card to
Does
have
Caleb
multiple
just not have
copies of in sack
artifacts
decks.
that he gave up his Ocean Dissident, or does he have a
Yeah,
recommission
there's
hand or
there's
something?
nothing he's going to get value on.
Okay,
The first artifact he'd see would be 4 mana, two green in Iron Claw Crusher.
okay. So
So fortunately, he will have a
what's
turn two play that he'll be able to either flash in Paratrooper or he can just opt to play the Recruitment Officer this turn.
yeah? All right. So it looks like he's just gonna flash in the known card, which is a little awkward, but yeah, it's there. Uh, so imagine Michael's just gonna want to play this Scrapwork Rager here. Yep.
Yeah, that's a very decent turn four play. I've been very impressed with this black red like set or theme. This set.
Yeah, I was running black red and I've switched. So yeah, I think just like to lower my curve, I had like a bunch of cheaper green cards to play. So I changed my deck, but I was liking the black red. I just think it ran
I
its
mean,
course
especially if
for
your
me,
list
but
has like two baubles in it and you have like a lot of ways to get payouts for sacks, it seems pretty strong.
yeah, mine wasn't really a sacrifice deck. It was just like play good
Good
cards.
stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't really have too much sacrifice theme going on. But yeah, so the Airlift Chaplain here comes down. So we
The
got
officer in hand,
just
picking up the claims
we
make
just
the most
got just a bunch
sense.
of bread and butter creatures here. Like these common bread and butter creatures are just like sort of staples of their decks.
Nothing crazy high power level in HP Wizard's hand.
No, not at all. Just a Scrapbook Rager, Remorse, Gruesome Realization, and two lands here. So
So he
nothing
can opt
spectacular.
to. Okay, he is going to do the trick.
Okay. So if Michael wants, he can overwhelming here.
I
I
mean
mean,
that. While it's a two for one, it's like pretty.
yeah, it's like he's not losing. Like his Goring Warplow's going. Like, I think I'd rather just play Rager. I just take the 1 for 1 here, and it's
Yeah.
even it's just a 1 for 1. I mean, the one extra power sticks around, but I don't think that's worth using your entire turn to kill a 1/1.
No, I mean especially in this set when there are so many must answer bombs,
Yeah.
including the one he just drew
Okay. What's he
in
got there?
Siege Veteran.
Ooh, okay. That's a nice little aggro card. Yeah,
And
that's
especially
that's a tough
awkward
one.
since it's like two threats now across two bodies. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and if he puts it on the chaplain, the gruesome realization will not kill it anymore. The -1,
dang.
-1. Yeah, yeah. See, if you put it on anything else, he could then cast the gruesome realization and kill two things. But he's just gonna kill the siege veteran cleanly here
Yeah.
and keep on fighting. But he's behind in life, and he's has no way to stop these flyers. Really, he just has
Mm.
two lands, the gruesome realization, and he's gonna get in a little attack here with the harvester.
Looks like we're racing.
Yeah, but the thing is that
Um,
Caleb can choose to block at any point, and Michael cannot.
that is true. Oh wow, that is a very strong card to see at 5 mana.
What's he got?
He drew a Tender Shoot Riot,
Well, that is a rare. You don't see all the time. Yeah,
and
that
he's already got a send.
yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. He doesn't have the removal. He's going to have to dig here, draw 2 cards. He has only lands other than his card draw there. Because this game is effectively going to be over. Yeah, he's drawn a Rock
Oof.
Hunter, but he's he's
This is pretty brutal.
technically not dead. Oh no, he's dead on board. Yeah, because he blocks the 2 smallest creatures and the Paratrooper pumps. Um, Caleb could be safe and not attack all, but okay, well that makes it simpler.
He's gonna really show him how dead he is here. Yeah.
Well, Michael does have 3 cards in hands. I'm seeing it's Swamp, Mountain, Swamp, but
Oh
Caleb doesn't know that. So
yeah.
yeah, okay, he's just gonna make sure it's lethal here.
Well, and these white decks are so hard to race against when you've got a card like Paratrooper in lists
Yeah,
too.
it's also helpful that he got to 5 lands and didn't need to play anymore, and Michael got to 7 and had 3 left over. It's just unfortunate. Get the flooding, and he used the removal on 1 rare, but then another came down. So
Yeah,
the siege
I
veteran
don't
was
feel
going
like
to
we
take
had
over
too
the
many
game.
choices to make.
The siege veteran was going to take over the game, not as quickly as the as the tender shoot did, but it's still a must answer. So it looks like Michael's doing some heavy sideboarding here. He's just starting to take out almost everything here.
I mean, I am looking at Why Not's deck, and this looks strong and efficient. I'm seeing 2 Yotion Distance, 2
Okay.
Autonomous Assemblers. I mean, he just has the early
Yeah.
plays that will accrue advantage and like force the opponent into very uncomfortable
Yeah. So when I
situations.
played him, I'd say like a week and a half ago, he was on green red, and then I saw him. He was playing last night on stream, and he was white red. But I guess he had that tender shoot for a while. I know because he had it in his green red deck. So
Hmm.
I guess maybe his red wasn't good enough. But I know he had like a couple of his best cards in his pool were red. But maybe it just wasn't creating a good foundation for a deck. But if you check his record, he's doing well. So he's in the mix for yet another top 8 to add to his
What are
resume.
players' records for this match?
Uh, I hadn't looked. I know Caleb's doing well, but so yeah. So Michael has literally taken everything that's not in a colorless artifact out of his deck. So he may be just building a completely new deck here. He's bringing in white cards. It looks like. Yeah, he immediately just took out all of his black and all of his red cards and left in only some artifacts.
Okay,
So we
interesting.
might be in for a bit of a rebuild here. So in the meantime, you could check the records here.
Yeah,
And
so Why Not doing very competitively. He is currently sitting at 12-6
yeah,
at number 8.
yeah. So another strong showing. He has many top 8s. He recently won the team league. He was on
That's right.
the
The
Hall
Rushmore.
of Fame Mount Rushmore team. So okay, so Michael's he's putting in green and white and blue cards. So everything that's not black and red, he looks like he's throwing in here. He's got 2 copies of Urza Prince of Krug, which is the rare Urza that pumps all artifact creatures +2/+2.
Yeah, that card is very, very strong in the proper build.
He's brought in a Tocasia, the Dig Site Mentor, Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia are some of the rares, and yeah, so he's just bringing in all his green and white cards and a couple blue cards to splash
Did
here.
he switch colors as well?
Oh, he took out all of his black and red cards and brought in green and white cards and some blue
Oh,
splash. So
interesting.
he's completely
Okay.
changed everything.
I've never seen that before. Does he have enough? Because I would imagine he also need, if you want to do that, you need enough lands in your sideboard to.
You have to have the basic lands in your sideboard, which
Yeah.
I don't see if he has them or not. He might discover if this is. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, so but if he doesn't know that you have to just put a bunch of basics in your sideboard, I don't see them. Like I see his lands, and I don't. I only see Evolving Wilds and Tukasia's Dig Site on his for his land options. So
In
this
that case, would we like try to reset the match or keep it close?
well, if the opponent's willing, which I usually they are, you would just go and redo the decks and then restart the match with Caleb up a game. So unless the basics are hiding somewhere else in the, usually they're there with the non-basics, but sometimes they're with their color. I'm not sure, but he's rifling through his artifacts here. So Yeah, so this is something we don't see often in League, but that people do sometimes, which is the transformational sideboard. Um, really at this point in the league, you can essentially build a deck of any combination of colors. Like you have more than enough cards. It's just when it's correct. So I guess he sees with the low to the ground deck, he wants something maybe a little beefier, maybe something that is capable of going a little late game.
Did his previous
So yeah,
build
he
look a
does.
Little
He does have the lands here. He loaded up. Yeah, so
okay?
the
Excellent.
lands are there like with their color, rather than in like with the non basic lands. So in front of the white
Gotcha.
cards, there's plains and etc. All
So
right,
I guess he
so
figures this build is much better suited to face the aggressive build that he faced last game.
so maybe it defends itself a little better earlier because red black is not really a defend yourself type of deck. So it
No,
defends itself a little better and then goes maybe over the top is I think what he's aiming for here. I imagine. So I think he wants to add. He's only at 19 lands, but yeah, he's making his cuts here. He's going to add in some few more lands, and he'll be good to go. So often, if somebody's doing this, they'll sometimes send the other player a private message that they may be changing their deck just because it's taking a while here.
just the setup.
With our league play, we don't have timers, so there's no time sideboarding because if you had to do this under in the 2 minute slot or however much they give you,
I
it would
would
be
mess it
very
up
difficult.
100% of the time. Yeah.
It would be very difficult. But yeah, no, we don't use timers. You know, we give people the time that they need. It's a relaxed environment as far as that goes. But yeah, so if
How
yeah,
was your league this week, Rich?
oh, I think I'm 0-2 this week. I'm not doing great, but I see you're up at the top there, so you found the key to
The
success.
lost the first three games this week, which didn't feel so great. But okay, looks like we're back in the
Yeah,
match.
I think you did okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, me, I'm on the decline, which is normal. Usually the first 3 weeks I do okay, and then it falls off kind of.
Okay, so we see a much earlier turn play by HP Wizard,
Yeah.
but why not got like an incredibly aggressive curve here. Again, he's got Distant on 2, and he can immediately give it a counter with Bobble in hand.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That is good business there.
no other artifacts to be seen, but he's got a land and two options and three drops, either Airlift Chaplain or Prison Sentence. And he also has the recommission in hand to maybe pick up something that Chaplain ends up milling.
Or if the dissident dies, which the one thing is that this deck here is not going to have too much removal. Michael's deck that he
Green
drew
white.
up here. Yeah, so he's got yeah, so in his hand he's got three lands here, all green and white, because he is splashing blue. He has a sculpting steel, which only really copies the mutt. Um, he might just play that here. No, okay, he's gonna hold on to it. He has a spotter thopter, which is you can cast it for 3 and a blue or for 8. The
Any blue
prototype.
in his hand currently?
No, and he has a power plant worker here.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's got some beefy artifacts here, but won't be able to cast them for a minute at least. So
So
Airlift
no
Chaplain here.
hits there. Yeah, he's
Okay.
just going to opt to give it a counter, which I
Yeah.
like.
So now, based on having no other plays, he's gonna have to make a second scrapwork mutt. Okay, he's
Feels
trying to
bad, but
he's trying to
go
self
ahead.
assembler, which is a you know he has maybe he has aspirations of assembling all the workers here since he does have them all in his deck.
I have yet to see it in a game, but
Right, so
I
here's a
imagine it's pretty
stalwart, and this
strong.
card, this card just, I mean, maybe in league it's maybe less of a premium card, but I know in draft it's just been going up and up and up in people's estimations of it.
I mean, this format has turned out to be so aggressive that I imagine being able to just get out your threats sooner than your opponent is getting value as the weeks go on.
Yeah, so he's drawn a Gwenna here, Eyes of Gaia, which looks like he's going to cast. Yeah, rather than cast one of his 5 mana 4/4s.
So
So that
he does have Might Zone in hand right now, so
okay.
I can't imagine he cares too much about Gwenna. but let's see what he goes with line wise. He is gonna get rid of Gwenna immediately.
Yeah, whenever I see somebody not draw two cards, I'm like, oh. But I know it's right usually to kill the creature, but the card says draw two cards on it. I'm always like, oh, I just want to draw. Even when I cast that, I'm like, I'm almost always killing something, but I'm always wanting to draw. Yeah, so he has two of each of the workers here in his deck,
Wow, that's honestly
and a self
very cool.
assembler. So I don't know if I'll have time to do this. It's just that the advantages that you get, like by the time you've assembled it all, you have to be in
It
a
is a
stable
lot of
board
work.
state in order
Yeah,
to get these advantages. And I mean, they're not like they're not game warping advantages. They're good, obviously. They're very very helpful, but it's not like you go from behind to winning.
that's right. I mean, at the very least, maybe if you can take advantage of the 3 life you get every turn, but it's still probably too little, too late by the time you manage to get all those pieces in play.
Yeah, I think Gwenna represented a bit too much of a mana boost here. Um, Caleb, seeing that he's changed his deck, probably figures, okay, he's got some big artifacts in there. Let's cut him off of that.
He was also able to push in 2 extra damage by choosing to
Yeah,
kill the Gwenna.
absolutely. All right, so here comes the power plant worker. Next one, he could play the mine worker, but he still needs the window washer there,
I mean,
the tower worker.
he's still in trouble here.
Yeah, well, this flyer's just smacking him down. I mean, he's got an evolving wild, so he can play. He still can't cast the
I mean,
Water Thopter for its full cost here.
a
So it
killer
looks like
draw here.
he
It's
might
Cage
just
Vendor.
die to this. He might just die to this flyer. He can play his Spotter Thopter as a chump blocker next turn, but
Does he have the
it's
mana for it? Oh yeah,
well,
if
he's
he's doing
getting the
the
blue now
legend.
to
Yeah,
play it
yeah,
as a
yeah.
2/3. But I mean, there's just
I mean, that's not a winning line, right?
no. So what does Caleb have left here behind?
I mean, he's got another trick in military discipline, that
Okay.
one white flash enchantment, which has done more work than I thought it would when I first saw it released.
Yeah, it looked forgettable, but it just works out in this format. This format is a lot more early combat based than it looked like it was going to be.
There's
Yeah,
not a lot of like instant speed removal effects, which has made like combat tricks a lot more valuable
yeah.
than I
The
think they
interaction
normally would be.
is a little below. I think what we get normally a lot of the time. Like
And with static net
there's no
as a
like cheap
draw,
red instant to kill stuff.
yeah,
Um,
that's going to be game.
yeah. So was that off the top there the static net?
Yeah, yeah, it
All right.
was.
Yeah. So I mean, he was in trouble anyway. Like he needed to find something for that thing anyway. So this just ended the game here. So we see a dominant performance from Caleb's
Very
green
strong
white deck.
performance.
Unfortunate draws here for Michael here, and that's going to bring our second match to a close. We'll be back in a bit for the third one. So congratulations to Caleb as he marches toward. He's definitely in the mix for the top 8 again. All right, so that's it for now, and we'll be back with our last match a little bit later.